Hey, how's it going, guys? BT Gaming back again with another video. Hope all is well. I wanted to record this video because I feel like it could be a very big help to those of you that are trying to level up those newly acquired characters. You're trying to find all the resources, defeat the different bosses. And one thing that I recently noticed that was helpful to me was going to gather my local specialties. Now, there probably might be a little bit of question as to, is this feature really needed in Genshin when it comes to characters showing local specialties on the map? And my take on it is yes. And so I just want to kind of go ahead and show you why I feel that in certain scenarios, having a character with this specific feature is very, very valuable to save you time when you're farming. So let's just go ahead and hop into the game here. Currently, if you know, I'm watching the streams, we recently got very, very lucky and we were able to obtain Cloran very, very early into our pity. We had to win 50-50 and in that, we ended up getting Cloran at like 10 pulls in, like very fortunate. So my Cloran currently right now, she's level 90 out of 90. I'm kind of working on getting her talents leveled up and all that kind of good stuff. But what I wanted to show you guys here is I had a bit of a time farming for what are called these Lumitoils that are a local specialty to Fontaine. So we'll kind of go through this here. Obviously, to level up a character, you're going to need different things. You're going to need the gemstones, you're going to need the boss material, and you're going to need a local specialty to a region. In this case for Cloran, it's Fontaine. And then you're also going to need some character or weapon enhancement material that drops from enemies as well. But in my case, I was having a time trying to track down these Lumitoils, and I'll show you what I mean. So when you're looking at the local specialties for a character that you're trying to farm, there's a really awesome feature that Genshin has added, and this is fairly recent, within the last couple versions of Genshin Impact, where you can click on that specialty and you can actually click on this go to collect feature. When you do that on the map, it's going to create 3 blue circles at a time, and it will within that blue circle contain that local specialty that you're trying to find. So if I zoom in here, Fontaine having layered maps, it's even cool because it shows you the different layers of where they are. So I think this is a really, really cool feature that Genshin added. If you were a early Genshin player, you probably know the pain of having to have the interactive map on one device or one screen while you mark them off on that map and you're going down the line in game trying to collect them. It was painful. It was brutal. 10 out of 10 do not recommend. This is so much better. So you can pretty much in this instance here find this blue circle, and I can go ahead and I can navigate to it like so, right? Based on where it's going to be. So in this case, I'm looking to see where the Lumitoil is. It's underwater. I'm going to try to get a waypoint that can get me relatively close to where that is so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. Now, within this blue circle, I can begin to search for where these Lumitoils might be, right? So I'm going to be looking for the shiny little things on the map to see if I can find, you know, the Lumitoiles. And for me, this took me a bit of time. As you can kind of see, I'm trying to kind of start by looking up and down the waters of Fontaine, which is pretty vast and pretty big, within the circle to try and find what I am looking for. And the Lumitoils in particular for me are a bit hard to collect. They're kind of on the walls, they're kind of all over the place, so it kind of takes a little bit of time to actually collect these things here. I think this one might actually be like on this guy, or probably like on this tower somewhere. Yeah, so I see it down below there. So there's actually one there. So I can go ahead, I can collect this, and then I can go ahead and I can collect this one here, right? And it tells me that when it's completed, that circle is done. I can move on to the next one, and there's an additional circle added to the map. So now in this case, right, I could go ahead, teleport over to where that one is, and I can rinse and repeat. Now, I don't know about you if you farm for these, but it does take you a little bit of time to search for these when you get into the circle. Like, you still have to, you know, look for them. Even though it narrows it down to a really small region, you get that benefit there. But now I've got to traverse all over this underwater sea area. There's one that I can see sticking on the side of this wall here. It tells me to go to the new location. So you can guys kind of see how this works, right? I'm going to the new location fairly easily here, and I can go to this Lumitoile that's on the map. I click on it, and I'm trying to basically see what waypoint would bring me relatively close to there to that one, right? And it's kind of like a game you're gonna have to kind of, you know, fight. Now, what's really cool that characters have built into them, which I think has been overlooked when this feature was added, is if I go into looking at my characters, Lorraine, who I'm farming for, funnily enough, has a feature, a passive talent, where if you go all the way down, it's called Night Vigil's Harvest, and it displays the location of nearby resources unique to Fontaine on the minimap. Now, when I realized this transformed my farming time for me pretty drastically. So what you can do, having a character with that material that shows that local resource of that region, I go in, I'm gonna go ahead and switch the party to that character, right? And so what you notice on the minimap is that on the top left, what you begin to see is a little hand. And the hand is an arrow that's either pointing up or pointing down from where your relative location is. So if I jump down, you might notice that that hand, the arrow goes away because I'm in relation to where that resource is. And I can pretty much pinpoint exactly where that is when I get over the hand, right? And we find that that resource, I am being tracked down, is right here, right? So you find the Lumitoil, and so it makes it a little bit easier, I think, to kind of track down some of these resources here, right? Alrighty, so now that I'm in the relative area, what you guys begin to see are the hands that pop up on the map here, right? So now I'm going to kind of go ahead and with the character in the party that reveals where these resources are, I have a hand that literally guides me exactly to where I need to go. So now I'm looking at this resource and I'm like, yo, there's Lumitoil I can get to right off the bat. I think that that's just a very, very good quality of life because now I can go under here. I don't have to guess, right? I can have the hand guide me exactly to where I need to go. And I think it just makes it that much easier to actually get to where we need to go here, right? So I can go ahead, I can hit that. I can go behind this door relatively easily. I can come back here. I can hit that, which closes, opens the door. I see that there's another Lumitoil up here. There's another one on there. So I think this is a very, very good feature to use, especially when you're trying to look for resources for characters or multiple different things. Because like I said, it was a benefit to me to find this. So again, another cool thing, I go over here. Now I don't have to guess, right? I go over here, I see the hand on the map. Now, mind you, it will show other resources, but as long as you're tracking down what's in that circle, what you'll find is that you're pretty much going to be looking at just these resources here, right? So in this case, we have a resource we don't exactly need, no big deal. I can kind of go away from it and the hand moves to the next closest thing. I grab that, no big deal. I pop out and I go to the next resource here, which I'm blind. So if you're like me, that might be a factor in this. But again, I think it's a really good feature that's been overlooked in Genshin that just really makes the farming process for characters just a little bit easier. Especially again with them introducing the feature where we can legitimately go to collect this. I think this is a great thing to pair, especially when you're in regions that the local specialties can be a little bit tedious to find. So I hope this helps. Hope this is beneficial. Let me know in the comments, were you an early Genshin player that struggled with this? Are you a late game Genshin player that you're like, what are you talking about, bro? This is how my life has always been. Just let me know. I'm curious to know your guys' thoughts and feelings about this, and if you guys use this, because I think it's beneficial and helpful as you traverse the land of Teyvat. Without further ado, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.